Hi there, and welcome to another Solid Review. My name is Briston Brown, also known as Solid Zaku, and in this episode, I'm going to be reviewing the Build-A-Bear Applebloom, Applejack, Trixie, and the online exclusive Zecora. So just like in my previous episodes, I've made points about the pros and cons about the Build-A-Bear ponies. I'm going to quickly highlight over those and jump straight into the reviews. So, for just the Build-A-Bear ponies in general, their pros are that they're very affordable. They're $25, they're pretty cheap for an official licensed plushie. Now, they're also big and cuddly, they're stylizable, and they make great gifts to bronies and children. Now, a cons for the Build-A-Bear ponies is that they might be too big for some kids. I mean, we're talking about like little kids and whatnot. These are gigantic ponies, they're not small by any means. And for a lot of the fans of the show, they're not show accurate and tag positions. At least that's for me. I've always nitpicked about tags. That's one thing that's always been a con. And for the small fries, pros is that even though they're about $15, $10 less than the actual Build-A-Bear ponies themselves, they're small and they make perfect gifts for children. And of course, they're stylizable. The cons are that they're too small for adults and that they're not show accurate. So speaking of the small fries, let's just jump straight into Applebloom's review. Very similar to Scootaloo in how I stylized her, I actually moved her front hair into the traditional curl I've done with a lot of my Build-A-Bear ponies, and I've had her back mane combed and straightened a bit so that way I have that smooth appearance, that little curve that goes alongside with her head. And her tail, I've combed slightly just to keep it smooth, and I wanted to maintain that like buoyant curve that she actually has like in the show. Again, a lot of times when I stylize my ponies, I try to make them as show accurate as I can, but maintaining somewhat of a more of an original look in a sense. I mean, it's original because of the terms of how these Build-A-Bear ponies are. The bow that you actually see on her is not an accessory that you can purchase for her. No. That's actually a bow that's permanently sewn on Applebloom, and it's actually a really, really nice addition to her. I actually really like this a lot. So my only nitpick about Applebloom in particular is that her tags. It's not exactly similar to Scootaloo or Sweetie Belle, is that her tags are just clustered right behind her left leg. It's kind of really bothersome for me, and it's very, annoying. It doesn't really give her that great appeal, especially when I like to arc my ponies in a very leftward angle towards the view, and those tags kind of stick out a lot. So it bothers me as a collector and someone who likes to display his plushies. In fact, there's another funny thing I want to mention about tags. All the Build-A-Bears that I'm mentioning in this current review, they all have a specialized new Build-A-Bear stamp on their hoof. In addition to having the My Little Pony stamp on one of their hooves, they now have a Build-A-Bear stamp. It's not too much of a bothersome for me because you can't see them necessarily, but when I move them around or whatnot, they don't have any more stability necessarily. They have more stability in their front, but less stability in the back legs, so it's kind of weird. But I mean, it's a small nitpick and it doesn't bother me too much. But just to let you guys know about that. Moving on to Applejack, who is honestly the most different pony out of all the ponies so far, of the main 6 and actually the current ones. So unlike the previous and current Build-A-Bear ponies, period, she actually sports a very different body pattern that makes her body slender in comparison to the other ponies. It's kind of actually really weird. Keep in mind that when I stuff my ponies, I stuff them to the utmax because I want them to be firm and able to stand and to maintain their body posture. This is for display purposes only. The only pony I've actually not really stuffed up too much was my Snuggle Rarity, and that was about it. But the Applejack that you're actually seeing right now in my review is the only Applejack that I have, and she's stuffed up to the max, and she still is very slender in comparison to any of the other ponies, where they would have kind of like fat legs in a sense. She's actually got very slender legs, which is unique, very unique to Applejack. When I brought this up to one of the Build-A-Bear representatives, they actually told me that a lot of the Build-A-Bear ponies actually have unique body patterns. Now that was kind of strange to me because I never really realized that they had unique body patterns, and Applejack's was the only one that has the most noticeable different body pattern in comparison to everybody else. And I had said that I thought that it was because they tried to get her to fit in the cow boots. And speaking of the cow boots, of all the ponies too, Applejack is the most expensive accessory-wise. You'd think that Rarity would be expensive accessory-wise. Nope. Applejack is. Just to let you know, I had only bought her hat because to buy everything else for her will cost roughly about $25.50, not including the $25 additional dollars for buying the plushie itself. See, the hat costs about $6. The boots cost $6. Her gala dress costs $13.50. It's not cheap, guys. And you know what? For me, I only cared about having Applejack as Applejack, so I really stressed that I wanted to get the hat. And that was the only accessory I was willing to get for Applejack. Now, price aside and all these other things aside, stylizing Applejack was actually fairly difficult. Her front bangs were pretty easy. It's something similar to what I did for Applebloom and a couple of my other ponies, where I would just, do the curve bang in the front. It's the least I can do because there's not much I can stylize with that. But her back mane and her tail mane required a lot of combing and straightening, and it was not easy at all. In fact, she had a lot of knots and a lot of tangles where I had just spent a lot of time just combing and trying to straighten. Lucky, after a good amount of time working with all of that, I managed to straighten her hair. And just like I try to keep it to the show, unfortunately, I don't have the red hair bands right now. So what you're seeing in my final product is just the clear rubber bands that I'm using, but I'm allowing some little space, just like in the show, where she would have a little bit of hair at the end, and on both her back mane and on her tail. Now, I'm really debating right now whether or not I want to cut Applejack's hat to have that little U at the top, kind of like what she actually does have in the show, but overall, I'm really satisfied by, the look I have for Applejack right now, and I'm just really happy with her. And I'm really surprised that she's slim compared to all the other ponies. And now we move on to the great and powerful Trixie, which I have to say she's actually very interesting. I'd like to first note that I'm actually disappointed with her cape accessory. Just like how I felt like Applejack needed her hat, I felt like Trixie required her cape. It's not Trixie without Trixie in her magician getup. So when I bought her cape accessory, which was $13.50 and came with the hat, the cape looks so accurate, wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous. But the hat, as you can see, is very disappointing, very lackluster. And I would hope that she would have a big hat like she did. Nope, it's a tiny little dinky thing, and I'm not too enthused about that hat. But accessories aside, Trixie looks fantastic. She was one of the few ponies that I did not really have to stylize too much with her hair, because her hair is already naturally curvy, very similar to that of Rarity's, and I didn't have to comb too much of her. I actually focused more on trying to maintain the curls like she does have in the show, and as you can see in my pictures, try to keep that front mane, having that front curl and then the back curl alongside with it. And it was nice to see that, just like the Rarity's gala dress, we have Trixie's cape actually have a tail slot for her tail. And unlike the gala dress for Rarity, her tail slot actually shows a lot more of her tail. So, of course, I had to stylize her tail a little bit, give it a little bit more finesse, so that way it has more to show for it. So, I overall look at Trixie, and I'm really, really pleased at how she came out to be. I have to say that, overall, though she's not entirely my favorite pony of the bunch, she does look beautiful and wonderful, especially in my display. How can I say, I am actually kind of pleased with the great and apologetic Trixie. So last but not least is Zecora, and I was actually really excited to get her, because you see, she's the first Build-A-Bear pony to be an online exclusive only, and I've never ordered anything online from Build-A-Bear. So I was curious on how they would, handle the online shipping and such. Now, I want to note and make this very, very clear for you guys, because I wasn't told about this until I talked to the Build-A-Bear rep when I got AJ, Trixie, and Applebloom, was that you can actually purchase your Build-A-Bear Zecora online, not have her stuff, have them ship her to you, and then you can go to any of your local Build-A-Bear shops and have her get stuff there personally. I was actually kind of astonished by that. I was like, wow, you guys would actually do that? That's kind of cool. Because I had a request, because of course, me being me, and I want my display models, is that I wanted to have my Zecora stuffed up as much as possible and have her firm. Lucky enough that they actually did follow through and, did exactly as I requested. Just, she's not as firm as I want her to be, but, she still comes through. Aside from not being an actual pony, but being a zebra, Zecora actually has some very unique features to her. One of which is the earrings and bangles that you see on her are not accessories that you purchase, but they're actually a part of the plushie. That's really, really cool if you ask me. It's kind of like accessories I wish were available or part of some ponies. Applejack. What? I didn't say anything. Another which is that her hair is actually straight up plugs. That's kind of a first for a lot of the actual other ponies in comparison. And lastly is that Zecora is probably the only pony, zebra, but the only pony from the Build-A-Bear series that I didn't even have to stylize. Her hair comes straight up like that, except, in my pictures, what you see is that she kind of has her hair kind of like bent because in transition, her hair actually got bent a bit and I couldn't fix that exactly, which I'm going to be trying to do with a little bit of heating or whatnot, but still. She looks fantastic and great if you ask me, and didn't require much stylization for me to do. Even when I unbraided her tail was just like fine as it is. I don't really see that I could do much to do anything other than separate the colors a bit. Wasn't too much of work for Zecora at all. It was really nice. Now, it's opposed to like some people who actually do want to stylize their Build-A-Bear ponies, but I really can't see of another style for Zecora unless you want to have hair straight down. I don't know. But I actually like her. Now, there's one more thing about Zecora I need to mention, and it's more of a con than anything, and I hope it really doesn't hurt your decision on getting her, is that because she's an online exclusive only, she costs $35. $10 more than the average Build-A-Bear. Now, there's much speculation as to why she costs that much money, but I think it's because she's an online exclusive only, and she's not in such a higher demand, and because she actually does have accessories on her that's like added material and such, it's why she costs a little bit more. Personally, I think she's worth it because I love Zecora and she's awesome, so of course it wasn't hard for me to make my decision on getting her. But it might affect you, the listeners, the watchers, on whether or not you want to get her or not. I'd like to add that I really like a lot of the smaller details about Zecora. Like the stripes on her face, her body, on her legs, the shape of her eyes, and her cutie mark really flushes this plushie out for me. I absolutely adore Zecora. Overall, the Small Fry Applebloom is a wonderful and final addition to the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Applejack's unique body pattern is a welcoming change to the pony roster, and she looks fantastic, even without her expensive accessories. The great and powerful, apologetic Trixie has a very boisterous appeal to her and will appease her adoring fans. And for those who are looking to break that pony streak, then my friend, Zecora is the one you seek. So, the Build-A-Bear Applebloom gets a 3 out of 5. And the Build-A-Bear Applejack, Trixie, and Zecora each get a 4 out of 5. Now, I've only heard rumors and nothing concretely confirmed, but I believe that the next set of Build-A-Bear ponies to be released will be the princesses. Yes, that means Princess Celestia, Princess Luna, and Princess Cadence will be next to that. But when will they be announced, when will we see them, and when they will come out, that's up to Build-A-Bear to decide. But either way, I can't wait to see them and get my hands on them. I can tell you this much, the fun will be doubled when Luna comes out, because I'm getting 2 of her for sure. Now, if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on my Twitter, and follow my Twitch TV account. I do random gaming live streams from time to time, and I would love to have people come by and, watch and laugh with me and all. So I hope you all enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys next time. Lates!